Alexander's plaster section drawing method is simply adding a large frame, then starting with its inner shape. How do we find the origin point and its relationship? For example, after I fix this eye socket position, I draw a horizontal line and check where the hair curves in the distance. This distant hair curve you see after marking this point, I won't draw this part yet, I feel this point is about right. So you see this horizontal line runs through the entire canvas. After fixing this point, I can draw another line toward the nose position, pulling another line slightly to establish the position of the nose tip. After that, for the nose position, you see I add a bit here, still starting from this point, right? Then the side cheek, right? After that, you see once we've found this position, you see next we'll adjust the interior, establishing some thickness relationships outward, creating thickness relationships for this hair section. You see, after fixing this point, immediately draw downward, draw this line downward immediately. After that, once this point is fixed, you see right after, from this point, we simply mark these positions outward. After that, look at the relationship of this cheek area, the relationship of the right cheek, the corresponding points on both sides. Where are they? At this position. The corresponding points on both sides. Look, find the feeling of the beard in this area. After finding it, can't we extend outward, guiding us to find the position of the beard here as well? This area has a turning point. After this turning surface, it goes here. This position will have a set of form relationships. You see, after establishing these, when drawing this center line, what must you consider? Near is long, far is short. This section long, that section short. This section long, that section short. With this center line, you can compare their length relationships. So now we're establishing the position of the nose. When positioning the nose, what must you consider? Bottom straight, middle long. How long depends on what you see. I now feel it's a bit too long, so I'll push the nose down a little. The nasal bridge, the hard bone position. After that, what are we looking for in the eyes? Finding the shape of its projection. Look, this position here, let's create the shadow under the nose. After that, now we move to the mouth. At the mouth position, let's pause for a moment. Let's first define the lower lip muscle position. So as I just mentioned, our previous step was drawing a rough shape. The upper and lower lips are fairly equal in thickness. The lower lip is slightly thicker, so the shape of your mouth line should be slightly offset upward. The upper lip appears a bit thinner. So observe the thickness relationship between upper and lower lips. Now at this point in the drawing, look at this pointed spot, the pointed position. Let's align it after alignment. Let's look at this gap, see the area of the gap. After that, the projection shape is here. Connect this point, see where this gap is. This entire shape is wider at top, narrower at bottom. What does it look like? This area also has a small triangular hairline. Let's first define the cheek position here. After defining the cheek position, what else must we consider? The width of this section. After adjusting all these elements, let's draw the entire section. After completing this position, let's find the triangle at this position, extend it outward. After that, it reaches this area. See its relationship with the nostril. Now we can locate the nostril. Where is the corner of the mouth? If the corner of the mouth is here, let's draw a line outward. We'll gradually shape this form. Adjusting it outward, is this curve completely accurate? It's not. So we'll make it lighter, using an eraser to create a light gray shape. Let's go back to adjust the facial features. When adjusting the features, after enriching the facial forms, the overall shape will appear stronger. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Let's extend this small detail outward. Look at the entire brow bone. This position is the brow bone relationship. The hair projection on the forehead, right? After that, the entire angle of the nasal gland can be made more direct. After finishing this relationship, we still take this section of hair, we can extend it outward. After completing this section, it will have a certain shadow direction. Extend all these shadow relationships outward. Where is the nose tip? Right? After finding the nose tip, see the relationship between this point and the nose tip. That's the position of the beard, the entire length of the beard, including its small cross section. Let's extend all these small cross sections outward. Look at the line, it's very sharp. At this point, we can use some relationships in the dark area. We can use it to create roots, the eye socket, eyebrow arch, some shapes of the eye area. We can all root these out a bit. Look, pay attention, what are we talking about now? Root it a bit, bring out the whole eyelid. See, drawing to here is enough. Through here you can show the thickness of the upper eyelid because of Alexander's cross section. This area also has eyelid thickness. There's a small triangle here. After drawing, this part connects to this point. After connecting this part to this point, this area has a small slope. This part will have a small square shape. Look, this whole set of connections is complete now. Let's root out the turning relationships around the entire area. See, this part isn't completely straight. It has a small interlocking shape. Let's find this interlocking shape. Look at the projection of this whole area, including the edges. It's coming out now. After it comes out, what do we do now? We still push from inside out, right? For example, do we need to push out the specific shape of the hair? Let's make the turning relationships of this part more complete. Good. The position of the beard is now clearly visible. Now let's look at this position and see if it needs adjustment. We need to tuck in a bit more, see these subtle details. What must we do? Look carefully done. The entire shape of the orbicularis muscle, see this and this, all part of it. After finding the orbicularis muscle shape, look next. See this part breaks downward a bit. Explore downward. When you reach this position, see how it turns upward. Look at this line, it won't be that different, but there is a slight difference. As long as you can see it, you can make it precise. After that, this beard here has these small block surfaces. Next, we'll root them all outward. Then, you see, close these small blocks and pull them all outward. Along with that, we'll root them all out. This isn't something you need to deliberately draw. It naturally emerges as you go along. From this point, you see all the surrounding points emerge naturally. For those that need emphasis, let's strengthen them a bit. Don't touch the ones that shouldn't be emphasized. After that, following this relationship, we'll root the entire thing toward this side, then root this entire beard section outward. After that, from this position, we'll go directly to the mouth area. After this position will have a trapezoid shape, narrower at the top and wider at the bottom. After drawing the trapezoid, it connects to the lip shape with a pointed tip. Observe the perspective relationship of this lip point carefully. After drawing the lip point, we connect to the corner of the mouth, then find the projection shape of the upper lip against the lower lip. Look, this is one set. This trapezoid group is one set. These are two sets of trapezoids. Let's draw these trapezoid shapes properly. After that, let's work outward on the relationship of this lower jaw shell area. When finished, this whole area will have a small beard shadow. This small beard section. All of this needs to be drawn outward because this cross section requires all the small facets to be properly rendered. After finishing, once you've drawn all these small facets, you'll naturally know what to do. Add weight to colors on some larger surfaces that need emphasis. For example, this position can be made a bit heavier. Done. Let's bring out the relationships between the smaller facial areas and smaller blocks. For the entire nose area, since it's quite prominent, let's enhance this nose position a bit. After that, let's work on this area at the top of the head, the hair tip section. Bring out the relationship of overlapping hair, creating these shadow effects. Let's also identify these head shadow areas. Strengthen what needs strengthening. After that, these light gray areas on top, these small surfaces, let's follow them too. But keep the main focus on the facial features. Don't make the colors of these small areas too heavy, or the overall balance will be lost. Good. Now let's strengthen what needs emphasis. For the outer shadow, we don't need to worry about these things yet. After that, look at these color blocks on the face. Which areas need to be slightly heavier? Let's make them a bit heavier. Where there are small block areas, let's fill those in and bring them out. After that, we'll have the hairstyle shape. Let's bring out this hair shape. For our entire Alexander cross-section, first we need to, from the initial sketch, what we've been practicing is the relationship between volumes. What are we training? Your observational thinking, not just drawing a picture. The picture itself is secondary. The whole process is really about developing an observational approach from the initial sketch, and with that we can end this lesson.